Well, good Monday morning, Soul Warriors. I am Lona L.C. Curry, and I am the founder of Hope and Recovery Network and your host for the Recovery Soulfood podcast and YouTube channel. I am so honored and grateful once again to be here with you live on both Facebook and the Recovery Soulfood YouTube channel. Let me say this while we are building this room up. If you are watching this part of the video, more than likely you are watching the replay, and I want to thank you. Thank you for showing up here, for just your encouragement, your support, for allowing me and Recovery Soul Food to be a part of your amazing recovery and life journey. The gratitude is not ever far from me. The fact that people show up and find nourishing content here. So if you would, please put hashtag replay down in the comment section so we can come along beside you and thank you for being here and welcome you. And you know what? We're here Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, every morning, 8 a.m. right now. And we're also on for Saturday nights and the podcast episode live. So if you're new here as well, you are in an amazing warrior family. These are the best folks on the internet that show up right here day after day and are part of this soul warrior family. So you're in great hands. So, all right. Looks like we got a few folks on right now. So I ask you, if you feel led, please share this message out. Let's start changing the way the world recovers. Let's start changing the way that people see recovery, man. But most of all, let's nourish our souls here this morning, because I want to talk to you today about the science of winning and being present and what that actually means. Because we talk about the science of winning and we think that it sounds like it comes with so much work. But you know what? I'm going to talk to you today about presence, about getting still. I want you to know that everything that you absolutely need to win at everything you do and every bit of person that you are is already right inside of you. It came here with you and it's with you now. And I just want to get into that with you. So for this Motivation Monday, let's talk about the science of winning and getting still, becoming present. And so if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. Motivation Monday, live with LC and you. Oh, I'm glad it's Monday. You know, I've had such an amazing weekend. Amazing, not in that I did all these crazy, special, fun things, but an amazing weekend in that I got still, in that I learned some lessons about myself, in that I got into nature, in that I got to have some conversations with, some amazing, beautiful people, that I got to give of myself. And, I was in turn given back. And, it's just a beautiful evolutionary cycle of getting still and getting quiet. So let me say some good mornings right now before we get into the message. Good morning, Livy. Good morning, Yvonne Max. Good morning, Mary, the warrior woman Huffman. Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Alicia Lee. And good morning, Jenna. That's all that StreamYard shows me. So if I have missed you and I don't see you, good morning. So this weekend, I was really thinking about the science of winning. What does it mean to win? And I started feeling myself get really, really antsy when I was thinking about that, because you guys know I'm a person with huge dreams. I am a person that wants to take what plagued me for many years, what kept me feeling guilty and shameful and sad and angry and all those things. And I want to turn it around into good for all of humanity. And with that comes some really, really big dreams, because I don't want to do it just for one person. I want to do it for the entire world. I think that we are blessed in the recovery community. I think that we absolutely have a form of enlightenment that a lot of the world doesn't have. And I think that we are truly, truly blessed. And that I think that we should give the world a taste of what we got. Most of the world turns their back on us. Most of the world step over us on the street. Most of the world think that we're worthless, but in reality, they need us more than they know. We are those that are open. We are those that are coming out of what we believed was pure hell and what physically felt like pure hell. But in reality, we are the strongest people on the face of the earth. The things that we have lived through, been through, walked through, and charged through: addiction, trauma, recovery. These are things that others who don't know the struggle would look at and say, holy crap. And so I believe that it is up to us to not be angry with those that stigmatize us and those that come against us, but to use it as teaching opportunities to where we can be the light that the world needs, because we know what true darkness looks and feels like. So as I was thinking about the science of winning, and I was feeling that same old, gotta, move, gotta get this dream, gotta do that, gotta get this done, gotta do that. I started realizing that I was disconnecting myself from everything that was me, from everything that I truly wanted to move towards, instead of allowing it to align with me and to grow, I guess, without the stress and chaos. I was trying to make things happen and make sure that I was on top of this. So afraid, because what we come down to in that is there is a deep-seated fear of lack. Like I won't have enough time. It might not get done if I don't do it right now. And all of these things that keep us in that monkey mind, that's what it's called. I didn't give it that name. That's just what it is. But it's that gotta. Always gotta be doing something. We don't know how to sit still anymore. We get uncomfortable in the stillness. We get antsy in the quietness. And that's where pure inspiration and growth takes place. As I am in such an environment, of a natural environment here that you guys can't see out the window, that's why I'm pointing over here. Anyway. I'm in this natural environment. I really started sitting and taking my cues from nature. And you guys know I'm a tree hugger. I love trees. I think they teach us so much about ourselves, about God, about spirituality, about everything. And I started realizing that all of these amazing trees don't struggle to grow. In fact, they grow where they are planted. They're not wishing they were somewhere else. They're not constantly struggling to try to get in the plot or the section next to them. They grow naturally where they are planted. They are still, they are quiet, and yet they are full of energy. And yet they are achieving their purpose right where they are. They're not having to try to achieve their purpose. They're not having to make it happen. It is naturally happening as they draw nourishment from right where they are. And they grow, and they're yet not comparing themselves or their growth to others. Because over here we have these amazing trees that honestly look like they are fallen trees, and yet they are absolutely growing, but they're growing parallel to the ground. And I've been wondering and asking that question, why do these trees grow that way? Why do these trees grow that way? And what my soul spoke to me is that it is not the tree itself that is the strength, it is the root system. And those roots are growing effortlessly, and it is their stability. So trees go through these storms. They don't just live this, life that is perfect and not with its own struggles. These trees struggle to grow. They have enemies. They have animals and birds and all these things that come and peck them and will steal their fruit, just like we do. We have people in our lives that come and try to steal our fruit and steal our dreams and steal our peace. And yet, you never see the tree react to its enemies, so to speak. I don't like saying enemies because I don't think we have enemies. I think we have lessons, opportunities for growth. And so, as I was wondering about the trees that grow, parallel to the ground, these are trees that have been blown over, and yet their root system is so strong that they do not die. They adapt and continue to grow. And I know it sounds new age. I know it sounds hippie-like, but it really doesn't matter what it sounds like. The fact is, it's really, really true. And we can learn so much from just observing nature. We are all part of one divine consciousness. Each and every one of us connected to the other and connected to everything we see. And just as nature does not struggle to thrive, grow, and survive, even though it gets shit on, blown down, we lose some. In storms, some trees don't make it. Others have places and branches and large parts of them that get damaged. They have scars, but they're here until they're not supposed to be here anymore, and that's their time. And so I believe the scariest thing about life at this point for me is not dying, but it is not living to my fullest potential here on earth. And I don't want to miss a day in my life or moments in my life by being so far swept into the future that I never, ever, ever experience today. When we are placing our entire attention upon where we want to go, we're almost shooting ourselves in the foot, so to speak, when it comes to the law of attraction, because when we get so far out there, we're basically saying that here is not good enough. And we are recognizing lack. So what I believe for me, and it's what I believe, is that the key is balance. The key is being grateful for where you are and expecting more. Just knowing that as you continue to draw nourishment from where you are, from the resources you reach out to, from the things you study, the things you read, the things you see, listen to, going within, that is you building your root systems. That is you drawing in nourishment. And that is you growing where you are planted. Being happy, being content, being satisfied where you are, and yet knowing that there is so much more for you. Bring it in. because our walk does not look like anyone else's walk. Our branches don't look like other people's branches. Our fruits don't necessarily look, taste, and feel the same as other people's. So it is almost ludicrous for us to compare ourselves to others. Comparison is suffering. That's all it is. And one of the things that I heard this weekend that will live with me forever, and I only had to hear it once, and I will never forget. That's how you know you make a soul connection. There is this yogi practice where they take 1,000,000 pots and fill them with water, and they place them in the sun. And in those pots, reflected, each one of those 1,000,000 pots of water reflects the sun. And yet there is but one sun. That is just like all of us, all of you. That one eternal light source is reflected in each and every one of us. And when we spend time comparing ourselves to others, we are basically saying, I'm not enough as I am. And there is about 10% of things that we know we believe. And there's yet 90 back here, down here, subconsciously, that we don't realize we believe. And so when it's brought to awareness that when we are thinking too far ahead, we are not being grateful for now. Because who's to say that today is not our last day? And if we spend all our time thinking only into tomorrow, only into the future, we will miss everything here today. And we've got to find a balance, y'all. And this is the gifts that recovery brings me. This awareness, this ability to see things for deeper meanings than what they may look like on the surface. My addiction has brought me this. Because without the addiction, I wouldn't have the recovery. And we've got to not be afraid to go digging through our roots and digging around in our soil to see exactly who we are and where we come from. And we've got to stop hating where we come from. We got to stop being ashamed of where we come from and embrace where we've come from, because that is part of our story here in this lifetime. And there is an amazing mission attached to all of that if we choose to see it. Because if we choose to stay in it and live in nothing but that pain body, and that place where we suffer and we're in pain, and that's the normal for us, we will never see what the purpose is. And we will start to think things like, what am I doing here? What's the point of all this? And you know, there are so many points to all of this. And it alleviates suffering when we make our pain our purpose. When we realize that everything is working for us and not against us. And that in every storm that comes along, there are amazing blessings and miracles that happen in all that. We may experience a breakup that seems to shatter our entire world. But how do we know that very breakup is not saving our lives? Because maybe we depended upon that person so much that we stopped doing for ourselves. And our body was just rotting away from not doing for. Maybe we had that breakup so that we could start to gain ourselves again. That we could grow in love with us. And so all the time, in all ways, every day, Our prayers are being answered. It really is all about our perception of it. And when we get attached to the outcome that we want to see, we continue to be disappointed and to believe that no one's listening. And yet, the answers have always been around us. And that's perception. And our perception changes when we get intent on having it change. And I'll never, ever, ever stop telling you that one of the ways to begin to change your perception about life and love and spirituality and recovery is to get truly grateful, to be connected with real gratitude. And it takes practice. It's not going to feel right at first. You're not going to necessarily feel super grateful because you are trying to implement and wake up a part of yourself that may have been asleep all your known life. But we've got to start. I mean, most of us can ride a bike. We didn't just jump on a bike when we were young and take off and think it's a natural talent. Many of our gifts and talents, though they are naturally placed in us, they have to take practice to start cultivating. We say this often, and I love it so much because we stay so comfortable in our limitations because we stay safe there. We don't have to risk disappointment if we don't ever step out and do those things that we are dreaming of. We don't have to face the trolls and the naysayers and the bullies if we never step out and allow ourselves to be seen. And just as we go through our lives in trauma responses, closing off our hearts because we had that heartbreak early on, we're not only closing ourselves off from the pain that may or may not happen, we're closing ourselves off from the ability to experience love and fun and accomplishment and the science of winning. And so as we're closing ourselves off to what our brain and ego says is not safe, we have to realize that those things are not going to kill us. In fact, they will grow us, and we can learn to become grateful for the experiences versus always staring at nothing but the pain. We get used to placing our eyes completely on the pain, and we see nothing else out here. And so we start to build this belief system that says all love is pain. All stepping out is dangerous. I don't ever want to feel that again. And sometimes we just click off and decide we don't want to feel anymore. And we use, or sometimes the worst happens. We take ourselves out of here. You know, this stuff is real. I don't want to make light of any of this. Depression is real. Anxiety is real. Trauma is real. I just want to be a person that helps you, a person that's come from all of that helps you conquer the closing off of yourself. I listened to a great message by my mentor, Amy Guerrero of Thrive in Recovery with Amy. Yeah, guys, I have mentors. I have to have people around me as well. I have an accountability partner. I have the same one, not only is my recovery accountability partner, but my dream accountability partner, my business partner. I have people that mentor me, and then in turn that I mentor. We never get too grown or too recovered to need help. So I listened to that message and I shared it. So I hope you guys will catch it. by Amy last night on her weekend wellness hack she does every Sunday night. And it was talking about opening our hearts and what that truly means and all that we can experience by opening our hearts. An attachment, being attached to the outcome of any situation, is what actually causes us the suffering. It's what actually causes us to be disappointed. And, it's hard for us as human beings not to want certain outcomes of things we put our heart and our minds and our souls into. But think about it like this. Look at your children. When do you get the most upset? Many times, us in recovery, we get upset when we see them following in our footsteps because we don't want them to suffer. And yet, just like us, they have their own divine path. And when we continue to enable and save them from the suffering, we are prolonging their own life lessons. And it's so, if you think about it today, gather up how many disappointments have come from your expectations and attachment to the results of the things that you have set forth in your life. And I want to leave you with this one assignment for Monday, for this week. And I won't give you one on Wednesday, and I won't give you one on Friday or even Saturday. I want you to work on this one this entire week. Start to recognize your self-narrative. What are the ways that you think about yourself most often? What is the common theme that comes up for you all the time? Now, what this exercise is going to do is it's going to help you start to become present and aware in your life. You're going to feel little things like, I'm not doing it right. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to really do any work. I just want to come hear a message and move along. And that's okay. That's okay. You will naturally move towards doing the work when you're in a place where your suffering has become so great that you decide, I'll do whatever it takes. And that's all right. You got to get to there in your personal time. But you should have a notebook by now. If you've been here very long, you should have a notebook and should have something that you carry with you, something that you write in your thoughts, your experiences. Journaling is a powerful, powerful tool. Fellas, it ain't just for girls. But if we start to become aware of our self-narrative, what are you telling yourself daily? What are you telling yourself most of all? What is the common theme of your self-narrative? What is your story? I don't want you to try to change it. I don't want you to judge it. I want you to become aware of it. We can try to change, we can change it and moderate it and modify it and all that good stuff later. But for now, let's become aware of it. Because what we tell ourselves, about our life, about our dreams, our future, our past, all of that is what is building your entire reality right now. It is driving your experiences. It is driving your recovery, your addiction, your parenting, your money making. All of that is the story that you are telling you about you and your life. I lived under the story of I am an abused person. I will never be pure of heart. I will always be used property. I will always not be good enough because I was the only one in that family that got abused. So there must be something wrong with me. And then as I kept coming in contact with that exact same scenario, I was convinced then that something was wrong with me, that I was different, weird, that the bullies were right. I was gross and disgusting, and they didn't know what I was, and all of these things. And I was shy, and I was angry, and I was not wanted, and I was a mistake. That was my story. Recovery and this process, not recovery, addiction, brought me here to find out that I am the breath of God in the earth, that I am perfect just as I am, that I have a mission and a purpose here, and that every single day as I continue to clean and clear myself, that purpose is becoming more and more and more apparent. I'm enough. I deserve all that is within me to imagine, and so do you. So, who's going to do the assignment this week? Who's ready to look at their own narrative? Who's ready to stop that story where it is and change it today so that they can change their entire experience tomorrow? I know that most of you are. I know that most of you are. And I know that you'll do it because you are soul warriors and you show up here. And you notice it's the same folks that show up here day after day after day. And it's not 10,000 of you, because there are many people that want to keep living in that same story. There are many people that want to keep living in the cheap seats of life. There are many people that are too afraid to step out on the stage of their own life in their own arena and live their life to the fullest, to use their pain for purpose. And they're coming along. More and more and more are starting to wake up and understand that the story they've been telling themselves is a lie, and that really they are amazing. So don't think that because there is such a small group of you that's not divine, because each of you get to carry out the message of your own growth and how all of this has worked in your life. You get to carry that message out. So know that you're here for a purpose. It's not coincidence. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. You know you're here because you're supposed to be. And this is the message for you. So I love you guys. If you have gotten some good soul nourishment from this video, then I ask you to share it out. If you are on the YouTube channel, or if you have not gone and liked and subscribed and shared out our YouTube channel, please do that. I really want to grow that platform. It gives me a lot more freedom to bring you guys such just more amazing soul nourishing content with amazing guests and amazing stuff. So please, if you are not already a subscriber for the Recovery Soul Food YouTube channel, and go subscribe to the podcast, which is available on iTunes, Anchor.fm, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms, then please do that. And I thank you. I also want to ask you to consider becoming a monetary supporter of the podcast. There is a package for all budgets from 99 cents a month all the way up to $29.99 a month. I said it, and I said it right. But it just helps keep this going. I want to thank our warrior here, Mary Huffman. She has been such an amazing supporter of all that I do here and that we grow together. I just want to thank her because you know what? This month was on Mary. Mary donated for this month's operations. And you know what? That's just amazing. That's beautiful to me. And I hope I didn't put that out on Front Street and embarrass Mary. But you know, it's us being obedient to the things that we feel called and led to do. And there are people in our midst that I couldn't do this without. Mary Huffman is one, you know, Yvonne Max, who helps me run the Hope and Recovery Network group and the Rise Up, the what boot camp, Rise Up Recovery boot camp group. You know, she is involved and have been there since the get-go and helping me do that admin stuff. For all of you that show up every single day, Alicia Lee, Lori Waters, I mean, you know, Livy, so many of you, so many, Paula Folsom, so many of you that show up day in and day out. Man, I can't do this without all of you. So know that you are a huge part of my gratitude list and my opening of my heart every single day. So I wish you all the most amazing, motivated Monday of all time. And I want you to know that you can achieve that because you choose to. What are you expecting today? Because remember, whatever you're expecting will show up. So expect miracles. Know that you are amazing and know that you're worth it. And God willing, I will see you back here Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. for Winning Wednesday live with LC. Y'all stick around after I come off of here because I'm going to do some podcast promo and then we'll do our closing sheets. I love you. This Saturday night, 8 p.m., it is part 2 with author Joe Potosi of When the Dust Settled. We're going to get more into Joe's addiction and recovery battle and conquering and his walk there, how his trauma affected him, how he found his moment and his one thing, and he went towards recovery with all he has. And I cannot wait. So you guys show up right here Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Recovery Soul Food Podcast meets Joe Potosi Part 2. Guys, I love you. I adore you. Have an amazing day. Bye.